And welcome to the Bobcats Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. Bismarck Bobcats are getting set for 3 games this week against the Aberdeen Wings. Bobcat Coaches Show live every Wednesday at 5 from the Tap-In Tavern in Bismarck. Bobcats are hosting the Aberdeen Wings on Friday and Saturday after going on the road tomorrow night to South Dakota. Layne Sedevie joining us here on the Coaches Show. Bobcats head coach Hunter Laslo will be here as well, the assistant coach, along with 2 players, Nolan, Nenow, and Nico, Chmelevski. Maybe some revenge in the works, Layne, for NDSU football, but when the Bobcats go to South Dakota. Regardless, 3 big games between the Bobcats and the Wings. I know you're distraught about what the New York Giants did to your Vikings on Sunday, but good thing the Bismarck Demons won a game yesterday.
Yeah, big game. Beat Mandan. And the Vikings, I mean, I actually never thought they would win a playoff game, to be honest with you. Their defense is terrible, and I have zero confidence in them needing to score when they need to score. I don't care how good Justin Jefferson is. Until they figure that out, Corey, the Vikings fans are going to be probably in the same spot every year, wanting more. And, yeah, they had a good year. But, it's crazy. Tolf, can I get one, please? Thank you. They so I didn't know this, but you get a
Thanks, Toph.
So the Vikings were at home, right?
Yeah.
Now the home team gets 3 points.
For home field advantage.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're not favored to win that game.
The Vikings, well, they were -3.
They were not favored.
It was a pick 'em if you take out the 3 points.
And they were at home. So, I don't know. To me, the writing was on the wall.
Well, that did not mirror your comments on Saturday night when you were so confident in yourself. But either way.
No, I was just got to give you crap.
Well, I know you always do. That's the one thing you do well, aside from coach the Bobcats. Give your radio guy crap.
You're the least I've given crap to.
I've not done enough to get on your nerves, I guess. So 2 games against North Iowa. Really good defensive games yet again. Losing a shootout 2-1 on Friday. Come back and win 3-1. Probably your best game in months on Saturday. You control the whole game aside from just a few minutes when North Iowa takes advantage and scores in the 3rd period, but you led the entire way, won the game 3-1, had 31 shots on goal. Just didn't seem to let up for the most part, and really that's consistent throughout the entire 2 weeks. 4 good defensive games. You win 2, and you get 3 points last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're still struggling to score goals, that's for sure. I mean, it's, I don't know, hopefully that can, that can change this weekend. It's obviously a big weekend for us, and, hopefully our defending can stay to where it's been. I don't know if it's going to. I mean, you've given up 4 goals in 4 games, and I don't know how our record is what it is, but again, we've obviously went cold as far as putting the puck in the net. So, I still don't know if just feel like we're struggling to find, either a goal scoring or chemistry with our lines. We had good chances on Friday. Felt like we should have won the game, but at the end of the day, you have to obviously score goals. So, hopefully our D can hold, to 2 or less, and you're obviously, when you do that, you're going to be in most games. But it's kind of crazy when you think of it. We give up 4 goals other than the empty netter, and you only get 2 wins out of that. It's crazy to think that, but that's why you play the game.
Yeah, surrendering 4 goals in 4 games is not sustainable, of course. It's not going to happen every single time. Do you feel like a change of scenery playing the Aberdeen Wings and not a North Iowa team that seems to be stifling on their defensive end could lead to more progress?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, that's, that and gaining confidence somehow. I mean, it's impossible to give confidence. That's the one thing I've learned about this job over the time. I mean, it's, to me, your preparation and how you go about your business Monday through Thursday is what's going to happen on Friday and Saturday. It's one of those things where when you don't have confidence, it's you just keep getting kind of in that rut and negative thoughts in your head and that sort of stuff. So it's obviously up to our guys to get out of it, and right now we're not. I mean, we're just not. Guys are coming back to the bench even on Saturday frustrated and excuse me. I can't score, and hitting pipes, and to me, it's one of those things where you got to stick to it. It's the only thing you can do. Getting frustrated, it's obviously a competitive nature, competitive, part of the sport that makes it, makes players good too. So, I think just having that, the ability to stick with what works, I think that's the key in order to gaining confidence as far as we move forward, this weekend against Aberdeen and trying to find our way back on the scoring sheet.
It's good to see how competitive the team and the players still are. But when they're going back to the bench after not scoring and you're frustrated at yourself, does that bring down the whole mood of the team?
Well, I just hope they don't break my, leg or Laslo's arm or something like that. I mean, there's been quite a few sticks, careless ones over the course of the years, but I don't know if it does. I mean, it's one of those things where, I think at this point in the season, it's a pat on the shoulder and a quick talk with a guy on the bench and just say, hey, you got to rein it in. You're doing yourself no good. You're obviously wearing your emotions on your sleeve, which I'm okay with. I don't mind that, but to me, you got to harness that energy and put it into your next shift and stop worrying about the past, because you can't change it, unfortunately. Whether you had a wide open net or you hit a post, you got to go out there next shift, put yourself in a good spot and try and score.
The tone of all these coaches' shows and pre-games, post-games after every single night were, in November at least, in December, they were, okay, the effort has been there. The results have not necessarily been there. Now that we go into January and February and we have games against Aberdeen 5 in a row that could do a lot to help the future Bobcats out in this playoff push, the great effort is just not going to be enough. It's not going to be what's acceptable now that we're in the second half of the year.
No, but we can't lose it either, and that's the probably most important part. Is that it's not gonna, it's not gonna be not gonna get you there, but it needs to be our foundation, and that's to me that's something that can never change. Through ups and downs, as long as your effort is there, you can tweak stuff and. Obviously you're going to be in games and all that sort of stuff, but that is one important piece that, you look at our next 5 against Aberdeen, next 4 against St. Cloud. To me, that's the stretch here. I think it's going to be make or break in these next 9 games to really find out, what the playoff picture is going to look like. I mean, that's, it's 18 points against teams that are above us and teams that are in playoff spots right now. So obviously we have to try and go better than 500, and if not even 7-2 somewhere in there. 6-3 would be numbers that you're probably trying to hit. So if you don't do that, you're kind of just stuck where you are, and then obviously you're getting to that point of to me the trade deadline and then what do you do? I mean, that's why to me these next 3-4 weekends are so big as far as the playoff picture.
Well, the simple math is this: the Bobcats are tied with North Iowa with St. Cloud for 5th place, 6 points behind 4th place North Iowa, who does not play any games this week. 2 teams, them and Minot, are inactive this week. So 6 points on the line this week can mean a tie for 4th place in points, and you factor in 4 more points next week. This team could be in a playoff position untied by as early as next week if they can win 4 or 5 of the games against the Aberdeen Wings. And furthermore, you mentioned St. Cloud. The 2 teams you're chasing are St. Cloud and North Iowa. Those will be your way to get in the back door of the playoffs. You play them 12 times of your last 27. So if your record is really good against St. Cloud and North Iowa, you have to go just over 500 against everybody else to make it in.
Yeah, but to me that's crucial. I would rather go better than 500 against those teams, and the way I look at it is not necessarily so much against those teams as right now, and I don't want to wait to play those teams. I want to get back in this thing now, because if you don't, all you're doing is putting yourself more in a hole. I mean, that's the obvious, right? So. To me, I don't think we have time to wait until we play St. Cloud, until we, play North Iowa. I think that window is going to be closing, before we play North Iowa again. Not so much St. Cloud, but, that those 2 weekends there are going to be huge. I mean, that could be a potentially an 8-point swing, and but to me, we need to start gaining ground. To me, it doesn't matter who we're playing.
I want to ask you about two lines in particular. You mentioned your forwards were, consistent for one, but not scoring the other on Saturday. First is a line that was, in terms of, Corsi and shots on goal, whatever you want to call it, your best line, and that was McLean, Patilla, Hansen. What'd you like about them?
Well, they had chances. They just couldn't score. I think Pitts was really fighting it, had some great scoring chances, some tap-ins, and, really when you looked at the AI, that was kind of the one line that stuck out. I think they were +11 or +13, and everyone else was hovering around maybe a couple positive or a couple negative. So, that was a line we decided to keep together, obviously, for Saturday night, and I think we'll keep that line again. I feel like we need to keep some consistency in our lines here and just try and get some chemistry going, get some confidence with the guys instead of trying to change everything all the time. I think it's human nature to keep changing things when you're not having success. So there's that side of it, and then there's a side where I feel like we need a little bit of, trying to get game reps and keeping it. If we can get two lines and then kind of mix and match two until we find that and see how that goes, I think that's to me a better plan than just keep re-rolling the dice and just hoping that we have chemistry.
Bismarck Bobcats and Aberdeen Wings coming up Friday, Saturday home games at the Bismarck VFW. BismarckBobcats.com for tickets. Talking lines here with Layne Sedevie, Bobcats head coach. Another line is your fourth line, and they played maybe better than anybody else. They certainly found the back of the net. Drew Holt had a goal on Saturday. That's Holt with Kyle Dahl and Nolan Nenow. You seem to really like them too.
Yeah, I mean, they were my best line. And, even on the guys on the bench and our so-called, top nine, we're like, man, these guys are good tonight. And when you start hearing that, it's pretty obvious. But, I don't know. It didn't matter who they played against. They had jump. I thought Holty played well with the two young guys, and they just flat out worked. They moved the puck. They were dogmatic, and they didn't play much time in their own end, I can tell you that, because they were in the other end, and they had plenty of chances. I know they only got one, but, Nina, you're going to talk to him here later. I mean, he's probably still having nightmares when Kyle set him up with the wide open net on the back door, but they're going to come, and he keeps playing that well. They're gonna start going in, and same for Kyle as well. But again, I mean, I don't care what line we put out. If it's our so-called fourth line that's playing well, I'll put them out against your first line if they're having success. I mean, when you have a group or a line that is playing well and they're working, I don't think it really does matter when you don't have, to me, a necessarily a big discrepancy from your first to fourth line, and that's. I think that's the big misconception that everybody sees when you post the lineup, and it's like, okay, now who's coming in to talk after next week? I got moved down to third, fourth line. Well, when we're rolling, it's four lines. Obviously, there's other ice to be had with power play and penalty kill, but I think one of the best tools as a coach is having four lines and being able to roll them. Especially when you look at upcomings, a 3-game set. And not wearing down. I think that's very crucial instead of just rolling, a top six and, sprinkling a third here and then a fourth here, on offensive zone draws. And I know a lot of coaches, have that mindset, but I feel like we have four solid lines, and to me that's a big key in not only on a Friday, Saturday, but especially on a 3-game set.
Yeah, that's for sure a misconception. And when you look at the line chart, sure, it's like, okay, three really talented guys. Drew Holt's a veteran, and 0-2 is playing on the fourth line. What's up with him? Well, nothing. It's a really good line. And you could, in theory, make that line a first or second line, and the way they play would not make anyone really bat an eye with those guys on your fourth line. Is that really, I don't want to call it a misconception, but is that really just a misnomer, calling your fourth line this year a fourth line?
I think it's year to year, right? I mean, I think some years you probably do. you have that. And I think they look at our fourth line, and they're going to look at Nolan being a high school kid. They're going to look at Kyle being a high school kid, and that's where that's going to come from. But I tell you what, they've been, as of late, two of our better players, and it's obviously kudos to them. And I think Kyle's been really solid all year, and I think Nolan's, starting to figure out what it takes. To me, the strides he's made from day one. Didn't win many battles, was pretty tentative, and now he's winning battles, he's winning races, he's harder on his stick. There's still a few times that he gets caught. I think the pace is things happen a little bit quicker still, but he's adjusted nicely. And to me, that's probably why there's some of that. If you per se get put with those two guys. But I'll tell you what, Corey, if it was a 1-goal game on Saturday night, defensive zone draw in our zone, I was putting them out. I mean, I had that much confidence in them. I thought they played. I think that's the other thing too, is you earn your trust, of your coach by the body of work and in the whatever you want to call it, 59 minutes prior to that, and they were just so dang good. I mean, they were fun to watch, and to me that's where we need to get all four lines. And to me, as much as we're not scoring goals right now, I don't think that's the end-all be-all, because that line's going to score goals, and so is Mac's line. When you have offensive possession like they did and chances like they did, they're gonna go in the back of the net eventually, and that's just something that they have to, like I said, they have to stick to it. But for me, they were fun to watch. I mean, they just flat out worked, and that's something as a coach that you try and get guys to do. I don't care who you're playing with and what you're what you're doing. When they work like that, it's just fun to watch.
Have you over the years had as quick of a hook with maneuvering your line chart, moving guys around as you have this year?
I don't know. I just feel like we haven't had chemistry. I mean, we score. I feel like early in the year we score 7, and then we score 1, and it's like, well, what? And then you look at your. And again, I don't put all the numbers into the AI, but I do like the Corsi part of it. I think it's a neat part when you look at chances for and chances against, and we haven't had a line be consistent. So that's like I talked about. I mean, I want to get into that consistency. That's for sure. And finding, I would like to find 3 lines that are consistently playing, and you know what, you can mix and match and you can switch a line here and there, but when you have 3 lines that are going and guys start to figure out where they are on the ice, their line mates, all that sort of stuff, it's put it this way, changing your lines every night is the furthest thing from what I want to do. I would love to have consistency from day one.
You get your captain back on the ice at least, not going to play for now as he's still rehabbing. Nico Chmelevski, you'll hear from him on the coach's show later on. Missing over 3 months, getting surgery after being injured on the home opening night on October 1st. Get him back, skating with the team, no contact. What does having both your captains back now mean for your group?
Well, I mean, it's nice to have him back. I mean, I think it's, we still got probably a month to wait until he's back in a game. To me, the big thing is making sure we're in that playoff picture when we get that addition. I think that's a challenge to the group that's in that locker room, and because he's a piece that will definitely help, and what he brings on a nightly basis, how hard he works, and what he can bring to our top 4 lines. And I think that's the other thing too, is when you think about that is, well, somebody's obviously Rels didn't play Saturday night, but we still have to add Nico to that mix too. So, different line combinations and that sort of stuff will happen obviously when he's inserted. But it's definitely nice to have him back. He uses the most of our ice, probably out of anybody right now. He obviously wants to put the work in, and I think it was pretty tough when. It's your last year, and he's sitting in your coach's office in tears, and knows what it could potentially mean for him and his career, and everything he's worked for. So, he'll work hard to get back and be ready, and I feel like he'll know when that he'll know when his shoulders ready for the green light.
Having to go home and follow the team that you're the captain of through hockey TV or whatever, through the app, the Bobcat app or something. You can't be at the games and in person for 3+ months. That had to be very difficult, right?
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, it's not fun for us.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I still think back to when he's sitting across from me in a chair, and I no words can, turn that situation around. I mean, it's when you need surgery and you're going to be done for 4 or 5 months. There's not much to be said, I think that's just unfortunate luck. I mean, I still go back to that game. Went up to Minot. I think we won 5-0. Really felt like we dominated the game and come back and. You lose Reller long term out of that next game, and Nico for 5 months. It had eerie similarities of losing John Ziske, our captain at the beginning of last year. And, but those are cards are dealt. That's junior hockey, and it happens to everybody. So, but happy to have Nico back, and he's in good spirits, and he's ready to get back to work.
Aberdeen coming up for 5 games, 3 this weekend. We're home Friday, Saturday. With how many times you're going to see each other, there are no secrets now.
No, not really. I mean, it's I think you know what to expect, and really it's about breaking down certain situations, certain areas of our game that need to clean up and need to get better, and making sure we do that over this 3-game set. I mean, it's I don't know if it's the greatest. When you're looking as a coach, you play a 3-3 and first one's on the road, but I guess it is what it is. The backside of it's nice that we have 2 in our building. So again, that's another part of junior hockey is a schedule that you don't really have much control over. But I think the big thing is making sure we go down there Thursday night and try and get some momentum. I feel like we played well enough to have I don't know if it's a win streak, 3-4 in a row, but it's close. So hopefully we can gain some traction and be road warriors a little bit on Thursday, and then come back to our building in front of our fans and kind of keep that momentum going.
All right, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Layne, thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Yep. Unfortunately, go Giants.
Go Giants. Well, unfortunately, I don't know about that. Nico Chmelevski joins us in a moment on the Bobcats Coaches Show. And welcome back to the Bobcats Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. Bobcats getting set for the Aberdeen Wings on the road tomorrow, then at home Friday, Saturday at the Bismarck VFW, bismarckbobcats.com for tickets. Nico Chmelevski joining us for the first time since September. How are you, Nico?
Good. It's good to be back. I missed you, Corey.
Yeah, good to see you again. So you injured your shoulder on October 1st.
Yeah.
Went back to Michigan, had your surgery, and are now back as of last Friday. How was the recovery process? How'd that go?
Well, it was pretty long, but it was nice to be with my family. They were supporting me through everything, and took a little break from hockey, but, I'm happy to be back and happy to help the team make a playoff push and hopefully win a championship.
Layne mentioned when you told him about the long-term injury and how no words could help the situation and you kind of were hopeless there. Was that your feeling when you went back home?
Yeah, you have some good days and bad days, right? But, stuff happens for a reason, right? So I just want to try to make this injury, not be the death of me, but, I want to make it a good situation. I want to get stronger and come back better than ever.
How do you feel now?
Feel good. I'm getting stronger every day, feeling good. Just happy to be back with the team and start getting in shape.
Have the boys just kind of welcomed you back like there was no time off?
Yeah, everyone hugged me right when I came back, and it was great to see them play. They had a really good weekend. Should have won both games, but, stuff happens Friday night. But 3 out of 4 points, we'll take it.
So when you're back home, well, first of all, you can watch your brothers play hockey for the first time in a while now that you got some time off.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of hockey for them because Sasha was usually in the morning, so I started my day with hockey and then finished my day with Ilya playing. So
nice. And as for the Bobcats themselves, we try to do our best to bring you the games to life, on the radio and TV and so on, but nothing compares to actually being at the rink. And for you as a player and the captain of this team, being gone for 3+ months and not being able to watch the guys aside from your little computer screen or your phone screen, what was that like?
Well, it's hard, this is my obvious last year in juniors. I wanted to be with the boys and, all that kind of stuff, but it sucked watching on computer, right? So I came back a little early just to be with the boys, watch the games, and get ready, get back in shape.
Were there some favorite moments or games that you were able to watch on TV?
Well, the one that sticks out is obviously the brawl. I think that was like the week.
That was the week after.
The week after, yeah. That was really crazy to me. Then there was a few games where they put 7 goals each. Like I think they played, North Iowa and Minot. They put 7 goals back-to-back games.
Yeah.
That was amazing to watch that.
Who are some of the guys that, some younger guys who you've not really played with a whole lot aside from the first month that have really impressed you?
Well, Kyle Dahl's been really good lately. He plays hard. He plays with an edge. Nolan Nenow just had a great weekend, too. I loved watching him play. He's feisty. He's not afraid to get into the battles or in front of the net, so I really like the way those 2 young guys played.
As far as being back home and even being here right now, last told me you've been kind of bored here in Bismarck. Is that true?
Well, I wouldn't say bored, but it's definitely an adjustment, right? I think I was bored in Michigan, I could tell you that. I had a lot of time on my hands. But no, here I'm in the gym twice a day or trying to get extra ice, just, keep my mind clear, trying to get back in shape, Is
that just to skate, take some shots, and just do whatever you can without taking hits?
Yeah, so I'm no contact for a while. Hopefully, sure, it gets stronger. I'll go contact maybe 3 or 4 weeks from now, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
Well, you made it clear when you left in October. I'm not done for the year. I want to come back. I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
Do you think you're ahead or behind schedule, or you're on schedule right now?
I'm ahead of schedule, I think. Originally, I was eyeing in the middle of March or so, and it's been getting good. I'm getting it stronger every single day. I had a lot of good therapy back home. So I'm ahead of schedule, and hopefully we'll come back by the end of February.
Layne mentioned Brandon Reller coming back last year after his 4-month-long injury with his leg and really not being full health until this year. How do you want to avoid that?
Well, just got to work on my shoulder every single day, get it stronger. The doctor gave me rehab exercises, so just got to stay on top of that. Also build my legs up and, just get back to it, back on the grind.
When you came back to Bismarck and watched the games on Friday and Saturday, the crowds were awesome, as they usually are.
Yep.
Did you miss that part a lot?
100%. I was really bummed out. There was 2 games I was bummed out that I realized when I couldn't be there. It was the Teddy Bear Toss and the New Year's Eve, because those are usually the most packed crowd. I mean, I've played last 2 years. I played the New Year's Eve games, and they were so much fun. And I was really bummed out I couldn't play that one.
What about going to Aberdeen? The crowd there, it's always nice to shut them up, too.
Yeah, that's besides Minot, it's probably my favorite road place to play. Especially in our first year, they beat us a lot, and they had that really good team, but their crowd. But it's nice to win there and shut them up. I think last year we were. What was our record last year there?
We were 7-5 overall. I think 4-2 there. I want to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
It was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
So you're going to go down tomorrow, obviously, just to watch.
Yep.
When we're on the road for a hotel trip, will you stay too?
Well, that's up to the coaches. I don't have control over that,
Yeah.
so it's up to them.
Yeah. I know Landon Fannell went to the North Iowa trip 2 weeks ago, even though he wasn't playing, just to be around the guys. Do you feel like road trips, from experience, of course, haven't had a lot of them lately so far, can road trips do good things for team camaraderie, even though you're playing on the road?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you build memories on the bus. You know, you bond with the boys. Either guys are playing poker in the back or, we'll have a little singing idol once in a while. But, it's nice to be with the boys, be on the road with them, and that's another thing I really missed, just hanging out with everybody.
Do you miss taking Holte's money?
I'm not good at poker, so I don't take anyone's money. I usually just watch people.
Yeah? Is that your favorite activity on the bus, just watch poker and that's it?
I usually like watching Patty lose all his money or something. Well, he usually cheats, though, I heard. So
Yeah, Patty usually cheats.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
We have a new bus. Have you seen the new bus?
I have not. I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah. There are seats for everyone, so no doubling up anymore, although it's not going to matter for you as the veteran.
Yeah, no, I didn't plan on doubling up at all. But no, I'm excited to see the bus. Just excited to be on the road again and go to Aberdeen, and we'll get a good win, hopefully, and shut that crowd up.
Awesome. Sounds good. Nico, thank you.
Thanks, Court.
All right. Nolan Nenow joining us in a couple minutes on the Bobcats Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Bobcats Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. Getting set for the Bobcats and the Aberdeen Wings on the road tomorrow night in South Dakota, then home Friday, Saturday at 7:15. BismarckBobcats.com for tickets, Bobcats and Aberdeen Wings. Nolan Nenow joining us here on the Bobcats Coaches Show. How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Well, we just had your new stallmate, Nico Chmelevski, on. How's that been like, seeing him?
It's been pretty good. It's good to have him back. Good to have him in the locker room again. He's a funny guy, and everyone kind of jokes with him here and there. It's nice to have him in my corner, the rookie corner we call it, and we give him crap every once in a while about just being a vet, 0-2 in the rookie corner. But other than that, it's been all right.
So with you being, one of the younger guys, a current high school student no less, you've got one of the oldest guys and a guy who wears a C right next to you in the locker room. Is that intimidating at all?
No, it actually helps out a lot because our captains are really good at kind of helping us through things. And if we have a question on something, we just ask him instead of, mid-game yelling across the room or something, like in between periods or something. We just talk to him instead right next to you. It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah. Is it different having not just Patty here but also Nico as both captains are back?
Yes, it actually, the more captains, everyone in our room can be a captain. We all have a great leadership group, but like our team in general, everyone can be leaders. So it's good to have him back, but at the end of the day, all of us can be leaders in the room.
Layne mentioned you and your fourth line with Drew Holt and Kyle Dahl. Holty got the goal on Saturday. You came close quite a few times. Layne asked this question. He wanted me to tell you, did Dollar setup on the back door still haunt you to this day?
Oh, it does, really. Like, in bed that night, I could not get out of my head. I just kept running through my head. I watched the game again, and I clipped the video of the game on my phone, and I kept watching it, and I just kept running through my head. Day after, it just kept haunting me, and I just couldn't get it out. But it's starting to now. I've worked on it in practice.
Well, second thing on that, your fourth line has not really played like a fourth line. They were Layne's best line, he said, back on Saturday. Even though you have the distinction of being on the fourth line, it's obviously your first time ever being on a fourth line with, being the man in high school and so on and joining this level. Do you feel like you're not a fourth line at all? You're more like a first or second line?
Yeah, when you're playing good, you're called the fourth line, but you feel like a first line because, obviously your first line, second line, they're the point getters, so to speak. But when you're playing good, you feel like you just have all the confidence in the world and can do whatever you want. So, fourth line or not, you're playing like a first line, depending on how your game's going, obviously. And Saturday night, I thought we played really well.
How well do you and Dahl and Holty work together?
To be honest with you, that might have been the first or second time we ever played together, and it just clicked. As soon as we got on the ice, everyone had no quit. We were physical, fast all night long, and it showed.
You had the puck in the offensive zone pretty much the entire time on the ice, too. Was that just by circumstance, or was that by effort?
Probably effort. After the second period, going to the third period, I kind of looked over at Dahl in the locker room and said, how many shifts did we actually have the puck in the D zone? It wasn't very many. And I think our effort was crazy that game. Everyone was just nonstop moving their feet the whole game.
Your defensive effort, just as a team, has been really good. Only 4 goals given up in 4 games against North Iowa. 2 goals or 1 goal each night against North Iowa. Is that a team thing, just all the forwards, all the defensemen just defend and worry about defending first and getting the puck later?
Oh, 100%. Defenses, we work on it the most in practice. The last few weeks, after our first start, we have a rough start to the year. In the last few weeks, we've been really focusing on our defense, and it showed. We've let up 4 goals, like you said, and it's just, it's crazy how much it works if you actually practice it, every day in practice and going through the motions and just, stopping the play and kind of talking about it before you do it. And, it's helped. Every line is playing better defense now, and it's turning into offense. So, like I said, we had the puck in the offensive zone the whole time, but it's because we've learned how to play defense first.
And that's not really structure. It's more so, as you said, stopping the play and analyzing. It's just hockey sense and learning the hockey sense.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
With Layne being a more defensive coach, him being a goaltender, Laz being an offensive coach, what exactly is that dynamic like? Learning offense from Laz, skills from Laz, and defense from Layne.
It's perfect, actually. In practice, we'll have different skill practices and whatnot, and Laz knows exactly what to kind of teach us, quick shots, different movements with our skates and whatnot. And Layne, I'm not sure what he does with the defense, but he's working the defense on his edges, their head-up ability to shoot the puck from the blue line, and it's just cool to have that balance in your coaches.
So I want to go back to something that was in the Jamestown Sun about you back in December, the article about you. You recall that, I'm sure?
Yep.
Yeah. You said that the Aberdeen Wings, who were going to play this week, were one of the teams that had you on their radar. They had contacted you, right?
Yeah, my sophomore year they did, yeah.
Yeah. So was that a team that had been on your radar specifically for quite some time, too?
Yep. Yeah, they have.
Yeah. And with Jamestown, your hometown being the midway point between Bismarck and Aberdeen, when you got the call to go to Bismarck, even though Aberdeen was close to you too, was it all right, they're now the rivals?
Yep, 100%. I was with Bismarck the whole way. We're North Dakota. North Dakota versus South Dakota, yep.
Is there some revenge on the line with what NDSU had happened to them by SDSU?
Yes, but I don't really think about it.
Yeah. So obviously you play in Bismarck when you went to high school, of course, played your road games there. Was there ever a time when you went to Aberdeen, maybe played there?
No, not really, actually. It's always been Bismarck. Like, we don't get ice in Jamestown, so I always go to Bismarck, like, twice a week to skate. And never Aberdeen, really, no.
You had no ice in Jamestown?
No, not in the summer times. Just all off ice. We have, like, a concrete under the ice, and stick handle, shoot, do whatever, but you can't skate. So I have to travel to Bismarck.
Yeah, so your parents were never like, all right, let's pack up the car and the bags going to Aberdeen for the weekend.
Nope,
That
never.
happened.
Never, nope. We turned it into a day, go shopping afterwards in Bismarck or Fargo, and just made a day out of it.
So when you go to Aberdeen, a great crowd there, of course, just like we have here. The fans can't stand the Bobcats, and that's a great crowd to have to shut up when you score, right?
Yeah.
And everything. What's it like playing in front of a hostile crowd?
Well, it's pretty. I mean, I played against Minot in high school, and they always threw like Blue Jays, and we threw like rabbits on the ice. I mean, that was rowdy, but at the same time, I haven't really played in like everyone yells at you when you get in the penalty box environment yet. To be honest with you, but yeah.
Is that something you would want to have happen?
I mean, I want to experience it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then just show them who's boss.
Yeah. As far as this weekend is concerned, you've got 6 points on the line. You can get into a tie with fourth place with 6 points this week. Aberdeen's been a good team lately. How do you beat them?
To be honest with you, we just got to keep our effort up. We can't get tired. We got to be taking care of our bodies after every game and just regroup for the next one. Don't look back. If something goes wrong, just forget about it and focus on the next shift.
How do you handle a 3-3?
Just plenty of water for sure, and take your vitamins because we can't be getting sick. There's a lot of guys getting sick, and I mean, if we can stay healthy, I think we'll be just fine.
Are you a water guy or a Gatorade guy?
Water.
Water?
Yep.
You would never touch Gatorade?
I like Gatorade, but water just it's easier to drink more, I'd say. I don't know.
Yeah. How does having the travel affect this too? Having to go on the road for one game, then come back for two?
It's actually a little weird. Like I don't really do that often because it's my first year, but I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. We have one goal, and it's to win 6 points on the weekend. So.
How do you like the new bus?
Way nicer than the old one. You get to charge my phone, no dead phone. Get my own seat. There's more seats, so yeah, it's been good.
Would you have thought when you joined the Bobcats this year and saw the bus for the first time, there'd be a point where you would not have to double up on a seat?
To be honest with you, no. But my seat in the old bus is actually pretty nice. The seat in front of us actually didn't have a seat in it, so we had like an extra spot. So we had some room. Me and Nick Bear were seatmates.
Well, Bear tried to put that table up and just could never get it up for the entire time we had
Never.
the bus.
No, then we just put a mattress down and laid down on our long road trips, which was really nice.
Yeah. So you're from Jamestown. We've been over that quite a few times over your 2 times here. I feel like all the guys on the team just like giving you crap for it. They call you the Jamestown kid. Hunter Garvey called you the Jamestown kid. Is that more of you saying you're from Jamestown or the guys saying like, oh, the kid's from Jamestown?
No, it's more the guys. They always just kind of joke with me about being from Jamestown. It's a small town. We pass through it every time we go on the road for the most part. And, I mean, every time we go past it, everyone's yelling at me about something about, oh, here's your town here. And it's just a small town, so everyone kind of jokes to me. But it's cool. But I don't know.
Yeah. How many times do you see the buffalo?
On their road trips or when I'm in town?
Well, just like in town, do you stop at the buffalo, make it a point to stop there?
No, not really normally. No.
No, it's just a tourist trap and that's it?
Yep, for the most
Couldn't
part.
care less?
For the most part, yep.
All right, sounds good. Nolan, Nenow, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Hunter Laslo wraps up the coach's show in a moment on Super Talk 1270. Welcome back to the Bobcats Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. Glad you're with us for this last segment with Hunter Laslo. How are you?
I'm good, Sea-Dog. How are you?
Not bad. Bobcats and Aberdeen Wings coming up. We're in South Dakota tomorrow. Then back home Friday, Saturday, 7:15. BismarckBobcats.com for tickets. Both Nico and Nolan wanted me to ask you why you still have that hair on.
Because I look good.
I agree with that. Hey, 3 big games coming up this week, huh? 6 points. You can get yourself into a tie for 4th.
Yeah, it's a massive weekend, especially next 2 weekends, honestly, when we have Aberdeen back-to-back weekends and three of games this week. It's a big opportunity to climb yourselves up in the standings and kind of get back on the right track. I think in the last couple weeks we've been trending in a good direction, but I think we can make some serious headway if we can obviously play for 60 minutes for all 3 nights this week.
You know, it's so tough saying this with 27 games to go. We're just past halfway through, but Layne said this, that it kind of could be true if it doesn't go our way. These next 5 games could be that breaking point of the season. It could either help the future Bobcats out or kill their playoff chances. Yeah,
that's what I mean by saying how big these next 2 weeks are, specifically this weekend. We've put ourselves in not the best spot, similar to last year being in the bottom of the standings, and we have a really good opportunity in the next 2 weeks and to again put some wins in the right column and add some points to us, which makes us climb the standings. And I think we're trending at the right time. I think since we've been back, we've had some good efforts and some good games, not necessarily been rewarded, but I think we've probably deserved some more points than we've gotten in the last 2-3 weeks. But still, I think we're trending in the right direction, and I do think, especially where Aberdeen is sitting in the standings, this could be kind of a make or break it. It's a playoff weekend for us in that mindset, because we got to start getting at least 3 or 4 points on every weekend, and in this weekend get the opportunity to get 6 points. So it's a massive opportunity, and we're going to try to take full advantage of that.
Well, your last 4 games have been great defensively. Only 4 goals given up in those last 4 games, not counting the empty net and the shootout goal. 4 goals, only 3 at 5-on-5 given up in 4 hockey games against a fellow Central Division team, a team ahead of the Bobcats in the standings, no less. So the defense has been there, but by that same token, the offense only outscored the defense by 1 in that time. You get the feeling that if the offense just wakes up and the defense plays, a similar effort, it could be a 6-point weekend.
Yeah, I think the one thing you don't see, obviously, out of the goals that we've scored in the last 2 weekends, like you said, only outscoring our D by 1, is we've been all over the net. We've hit multiple posts. We've had chances. It's not like we're not putting ourselves in good spots and not having those opportunities, which would be more concerning. To me, we've been putting ourselves in good spaces. We've been getting to the middle of the ice. Last Saturday was better. Obviously, getting 2 goals from our blue line was awesome. With Nick Bear getting his first, which we're happy for him. But I think we're still putting ourselves in good areas. We're getting chances. There was rebounds there all weekend against North Iowa that we just weren't able to get there quick enough. And I think if we're going to continue to have success and defend the way we are, we just need to get to the middle of the ice and get to the top of the crease a little quicker. We're going to score some pretty goals. We have a lot of skill, but we're going to need some ugly ones in the process if we're going to have some success here in the second half, like you said, with 27 or so games left. Not all of them are going to be pretty. We have to get to the dirty areas, play hard in front of our net, and do the exact opposite of what we preach, right? We preach in front of our net to be under sticks and to box out. We need to be able to fight off their D and to get to those areas they don't want us to be in, which will have success if we can do that.
I feel like getting the guys who've been fighting it recently, like Jake McLean, like Patilli, even Calvin a little bit last weekend, back on the score sheet will do wonders for them, their confidence in the teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys, it's just a little snake bitten maybe. But again, Max had plenty of chances since he's been back. He's had a couple breakaways, hit some posts, got 1 or 2 called off by the refs, but he's putting himself in good areas. All those guys are. It'll start to fall. If we keep defending the way we are, we're gonna win some hockey games here. The last 2 weeks have been really promising. That's probably the most improvement we've made in our game is our ability to defend and to box out. There's been pucks laying on top of the crease, but we've done a really good job of being under sticks and moving guys out and having all 5 of our guys confide at the top of the crease and make sure that they don't get any second opportunities or third chances. And we've transitioned pretty well. Yes, I think we need to obviously start putting the puck in the back of the net a little more, but like I said, it's sometimes it's how it works, but we've been putting ourselves in good places, had chances. Now we just need to grip it a little harder and put it in the back of the net.
Has the effort been defense first in practice?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's where we struggled, giving up a lot of goals. I think we're second in the division in goals against, I believe. And that's not an area, obviously, you want to be. But in the last 2 weeks, obviously only giving up 4 goals, 5-on-5 is a massive improvement. And our goaltending's been good as well. Garvey has been good for us. And obviously with the addition of getting Lipsy's back from World Juniors has been awesome. Now we have our 1-2 punch back. So if we got one of those 2 guys in the cage and we defend like we are, it's going to be difficult for teams to play on our end, and so we just got to make sure we do our job. When we have enough skill up front and making ability where we're going to be able to score some goals. We just need to have our power play click when we get those opportunities, because special teams is a really big opportunity to create some separation in games, and I think our power play has seen good looks too, just haven't been able to necessarily find the back of the net when we need it. But if we can start having our special teams click, we're gonna be a force here in the second half.
This team is rare in that they're not top-heavy. Like North Iowa had all their scorers on their top line, for example. They're not alone in doing that. Minot's top 6 is a good top 6, but their bottom 6 is questionable. Here, the 4th line has been your best line multiple times this season.
Yeah, I mean, especially last weekend, our 4th line really wasn't our 4th line. They were playing a lot of minutes and possessed the puck a ton. We're creating havoc in the offensive zone and also defended really well and transitioned with speed and shared the puck, and they weren't individuals. They played as a 3-man unit. Well, I should say 5-man with the D out there, but yeah, it's obviously promising to see. We believe in our guys up and down the lineup. When we put a line chart out there, every guy in the lineup we believe in, that's going to give us the best chance to win that night. And it doesn't really matter whether you're slotted top in that list or on the bottom. It's going to take a full team effort every single night for 60 minutes that's going to win you a hockey game.
Just heard from Nolan Nenow here on the Coach's Show. If there were ever a most improved player, Nolan might be that guy from Game 1 to Game 33. Yeah,
he's taken some huge steps since being with us, and it's promising. That's obviously what you want to see. And everyone's different, whether you come from high school or AAA or prep school, whatever the case may be, a different junior league. Everyone's different in terms of their progress and how long it takes them to get to obviously improve and to make those steps. And Nolan's done a really good job of working hard every day, showing up and wanting to improve, and that's obviously shown when he's on the ice.
I want to bring this up. You had to pay somebody some food on Monday in Feldy, our PA guy, sales guy. You and Layne were so confident the Giants season was going to end on Sunday. It will end this Sunday, by the way. I'm not gonna hide that. But when you had to pay out that Panda Express on Monday, was there a feeling of regret that you took that bet with Feldy?
Not at all. I'm not a Giants fan nor a Vikings fan. I did it just as a joke because I know how much Brad loves the Giants, and I like a couple of guys that they have on the Vikings, and I thought they'd be able to do it, even though they were underdogs, and they just weren't able to do it. They got a gift with Slayton dropping that ball with, 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes or whatever, and just weren't able to get down the field. They got lucky with that roughing the passer call, so they got a couple gifts, but they weren't able to do it. So no, I don't feel bad. I bought him lunch, but I get lunch in the process as well, so it's a win-win.
Hopefully Saturday's game, our game, will go quick so we can watch the end of that game, hopefully. We're not going to have a 3.5-hour Bobcat game that night.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care how long it takes as long as we're on the right side of it.
I agree. Going to Aberdeen tomorrow, we love going there, obviously. When you're playing on the road, start of a 3-3, is that a bit odd to do?
I don't know. Our schedule's kind of set up that way this year. We have a couple 3-3s, obviously one with Minot and now Aberdeen. I just think it's a level playing field, right? Aberdeen's playing 3-3. They didn't have one game last weekend. It's a level playing field. We're all playing on the same ice in the same situation. Both have to travel and what that may be. So it's just a really good opportunity, obviously, for us to only have to go on the road for one. On Thursday, be able to sleep in our own bed Friday and Saturday, eat our own food and stuff like that, be in our building with our awesome fan base, which has been rocking this year, every one of our home games. So the ball's in our court. We have to dictate the play, especially down there on the road. It's a fun building to play in. Aberdeen's obviously had success this year, so we won't take them lightly. But when we park that bus in Aberdeen, we got to be ready to go.
There we go. Last, thank you.
Thanks, Corey. All
right, that's all for now on the Bobcat Coaches Show. Bobcats and Aberdeen Wings, Friday, Saturday, 7:15 BismarckBobcats.com for tickets. This has been the Bobcats Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270.